Every hobbyist eventually faces the same problem. Not paint, not storage, not money. It's time. At some point you look around your hobby room, your shelves, your loft, your drawers full of shame, and realise something horrifying. You're not going to finish this all in your life. Maybe not even half. And I think I've finally accepted that. So...
Hello, I'm Ross, and welcome to Warhammer videos.
And yeah, you probably sat there at home thinking, why the hell do I have to look at that? This is a Warhammer video, I want to feel safe. It's a hobby channel. Well, how do you think my wife and girlfriend feel? Why the fuck did I connect the mic to my chest hair? Now today, I actually want to help many UK hobbyists solve a problem I think far too many of us have in this space. What the hell do we do with all this Warhammer stuff we're never going to use? And with 11th edition right on the horizon, yeah, it's a good time for a reset. Now before we go any further, this video is not sponsored by Warbay, but we are going to be talking about Warbay a lot, so if you take absolutely nothing else from this video, go and buy and sell your models on Warbay. At the very least, go and check it out, there's links below. Not an affiliate link, just a link. It's cheap if you're buying, good prices if you're selling. I think everybody wins. And honestly, this is mainly just a quick update video because embargo timings absolutely murdered my upload schedule this week, and I needed something to release while waiting for reviews to unlock. Or, in the immortal words of Michael Jackson, this is filler. But genuinely, I think this topic is worth talking about because I know I'm not the only person going through this. A lot of newer viewers might not actually even realise this, but I started my entire YouTube career in the Warhammer hobby. I actually started before that on fohammer.com, and that wasn't about printers, it wasn't about lasers, it wasn't about CNC machines, it was about the hobby and hobby tools. Paints, brushes, lighting, storage, organisation, painting accessories, mostly partworks magazines. But then, the printers arrived, and honestly, resin printing became such an absurdly powerful hobby tool that it's almost started directly rivaling the industry that creates the miniatures themselves. Now, loads of people just print their models. And look, I'm just going to say it, I've never really seen 3D printing as some direct threat to my Warhammer hobby, not directly anyway. I don't print Warhammer copies, that's not a political statement, I'm not your dad, I'm not here to tell you off if you're out there doing it, it's just personally, I like the official sculpts. And yes, even me, the resin printer guy, still finds plastic far easier to work with. A thought I share with people like Pete the Wargamer, who's releasing his Spare Parts Emporium range. That said, I absolutely love using 3D printing to enhance my hobby. Things like custom bits from Greytide Studio, where I've used some of their parts on my Deathwing models to completely change the aesthetic. Or all the incredible stuff from Mezgeik, because I absolutely love both Death Guard and Bioshock, and his Dredge Marines scratch that exact weird niche in my brain perfectly. So to me, 3D printing was never about replacing Warhammer. It was about enhancing it. And I always said the real threat 3D printing posed to my hobby wasn't piracy, it was distraction. And honestly, that's exactly what's happened. I slowly went from painting purely Warhammer models into larger 54mm, 75mm models, and then statues. And as I get older and my eyesight is increasingly starting to betray me, those larger formats are honestly just more appealing now. I love using tools like airbrushes and techniques like dry brushing, and please don't be shocked that I enjoy using technology to help me paint. Think about what I cover on this channel, it's all tech. Of course I'm going to gravitate towards tools and workflows that I think make things easier. And then we've got channels like Ground Affected, and yeah, Brent is genuinely a mate, but he's massively inspired me to experiment with larger scale painting and more display projects. But then there's the other problem I have. This channel, as many people probably noticed from my increasingly dead Instagram account, at least in terms of what I'm painting, and my lack of hobby posts in general, running this channel has basically consumed all of my hobby time away. This is in a way my new hobby, but I still get that constant urge to go back to painting, and like all of us, wish I had more time to just sit there doing that. But I also love doing this. I love making these videos for people. I love interacting with the community. I actually feel an incredible sense of satisfaction that I am helping people spend their money and not get ripped off, or at least expect to get ripped off by the brands that aren't so good. But it makes me feel good to help people. And I do. I want to go back to painting desperately, but there's a problem. I can't see wood for the trees anymore. Between printers, lasers, review units, box games, armies, sprues, old projects, and years of buying pretty much every major Warhammer release, my hobby became visual noise. When I sit down to paint now, I don't feel inspired. I feel what so many of us feel at one point or another. Paralyzed. Do I paint the thing I got excited about this week? Do I finish something from 3 years ago? Do I finally start that army? Do I continue the display piece? Do I build some of my pile of shame? Do I buy the new thing instead? And of course, like most neurodivergent hobbyists, it's always the new thing. Now, this isn't some huge shocking admission that I have a problem. Oh no, I knew I had a problem years ago. Now, originally the blog started because I wanted to help, but it did start earning money. And I wanted to push it to see if I could partially fund my hobby alongside my normal job. But then, over time, it became, well, technically, if I buy this box and make content on it, that's a business investment. Which was absolutely the excuse I told myself. Well, mostly the excuse I told my wife, but I knew exactly what I was doing. I was feeding my plastic crack addiction whilst disguising it as productivity, like any high-functioning addict. But now I'm sat here with years of accumulated hobby stuff filling my loft, shelves, storage space, and I finally had this horrible realization. Just like playing the games in my Steam library, I do not have enough time left in my life to paint all this, even if I dedicated every single day to it. And honestly, that was weirdly liberating, because once I accepted that, this question stopped being, how do I paint all this? And it became, how do I let go of it? Now obviously there's places like eBay, but the problems with eBay are endless. Photos, descriptions, managing inventory, figuring out what half these sprues even are anymore, packing, posting, competing against scalpers, people claiming stuff is missing, postal damage, then fees eating your profits alive. And that basically becomes a second job. And I already have one of those. It's responding to all the comments and emails around this channel that I absolutely love. So I then looked at alternatives like Warboot events. Now for anyone outside the UK wondering what a Warboot is, first of all, yes, the name sounds ridiculous. It's basically a portmanteau of Warhammer and car boot sale. And just so everyone's clear, it's not a copyrighted term. Now for the Americans still watching, a car boot sale is basically what you'd call a flea market or swap meet. It's where people sell things out the trunk of their car, except in the UK we call the trunk a boot, because apparently we enjoy making the English language harder than necessary. Although, to be fair, Americans call aluminium aluminum, and pronounce solder solder. So I think we can end this in a draw. Actually, no, wait, we call the hood of a car a bonnet. So yeah, alright, maybe you win this one. But anyway, the problem with Warboots is they always seem to happen when I'm away traveling, filming, or trying to spend time with the family during a public holiday. So for 2 years, waiting for one of those to come along, I've been doing nothing. And I even looked into the idea of paying someone to sell this stuff for me. But finding somebody who actually understood the hobby, products, values, sprues and box sets, it was an absolute nightmare. Then I came across Wayne from Warbay. Now Wayne was already a big part of our Partworks magazine Facebook groups, which honestly have mostly been run by some brilliant moderators over the years. And Mark, if you're watching, genuinely, thank you for everything you've done there. But yeah, Wayne runs his own friendly local game store along with a website for trading. They also sell the Partworks magazine, and to be fair, the way they do it is quite smart if you want to save the most money, so that's somewhere to check out if you're currently collecting Spearhead. But after getting in touch with Wayne and properly explaining my situation, it became very obvious very quickly that this was the exact solution I needed. Because Warbay isn't just a site selling hobby products, they actually handle the full selling process for you. You can literally send your stuff to them. They catalog it, list it, manage it, sell it, and give you access to a dashboard where you can track and manage everything yourself. And they handle all the packing and shipping, all for a 10% commission. Now in my case, because we had a lot of stuff and we talked about it and I wanted to film, Wayne actually drove to me in Nottingham and helped sort through this mountain of accumulated shame with me. And honestly, the reason I like this approach so much is because it still feels hobby first. Check out his website. The prices are fair, the buyers get good deals, the sellers get better value, and the products are handled by people who actually understand what this stuff is and what it's worth, not by some giant faceless global marketplace. Not that I've got a problem with eBay, but there's a lot of emotional value in these little plastic toys for me. It's a huge part of my life. I kind of don't want to give it up. It's weird how we build these odd relationships with inanimate objects, but hey, that's a different type of video for a completely different platform. But the point is, I feel better knowing they're being taken care of by someone who understands that value too. And more than anything else, I'd just rather support fellow hobbyists building something generally useful for the community. So honestly, this entire video is really just my way of saying I need to keep up the weekly post schedule. Many of my videos are locked by embargoes, and I've taken some time to deal with this egregious pile of shame, which, yeah, I feel shameful for. This was pure greed. I know. I told you I had a problem. Now, the point is, if you've got old Warhammer stuff piling up, if you've got projects you know you're never going to touch, and if your pile of shame has become a pile of existential dread, maybe it is time to let some of it go. But if you're happy and content and looking for a better way to feed your plastic addiction, why not do it cheaper? Box sets, partworks, random sprues, or hidden gems. I'd bookmark Warbay and keep checking back, because there are some absolutely ridiculous deals that show up there. And the more people discover the platform, that's only going to get bigger. Now, if I make a lot of money from selling all my Warhammer, I'm not going to brag about it, but there will be signs. I filmed that on my holiday last year because I had this whole idea in mind for like months. But seriously though, for me personally, this is less about getting rid of old stuff or making money. It's not like I'm making more back than what I paid for it in the first place, but it's more about finally making room in my physical space and mind to properly enjoy my hobby again. So I want to say thanks for watching, with a huge thanks going to our members who are on screen now. Please consider joining them. You get early access, exclusive videos, Discord roles, and more. If you did like this, dislike it, hit the like, clicky buttons, all that stuff. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you have a problem with plastic? Do you need someone to talk to about it? I get it. There's a community of us. So let me know how you feel, and you know, let's all support each other. We can make this. What would it be? Plastics Anonymous or something like that? Let us know down in the comments how you deal with it, but ignorance just wasn't bliss for me anymore. I want to say thanks for watching, and until next time, Fohammer out.